So if you're not tracking on-time project completion, then you don't have control, over your install operations. And so you're reckoning the fires instead of managing performance. And so here I want to show you how to turn your schedule chaos into something measurable and fixable. And so I want to show you how to create two heat maps. This one is, percent of jobs that are late by system type. And this one is percent of late jobs by customer reschedule. So in other words, out of 100 jobs that were late, 4 of them were because of the customer rescheduled for, rooftop units. And so let's get started here. So we have a data tab here, and in this data tab, if you want this data tab or this whole spreadsheet, there's a link to download it. Pretty basic, date, the dates you need a start date, planned date, and actual end date. And because we're going to be slicing this by system type, you need system type as well. And then also we want the PM and the delay reason. And then from there, we can calculate these 3 columns on the right side. Planned duration is really straightforward. It's just planned versus start. I mean, I can redo these formulas for you, but I mean, they're really straightforward. Equals planned minus start. And then the next one is the actual duration, which is actual minus start. And then now the delay flag is just saying if 6 is greater than 2, give me a 1. If 2 is greater than 2, give me a 1 or give me a 0. So greater than, not greater than or equal to. And so equals if this is greater than this, then 1, otherwise 0. And now we have, the same 3 columns that we calculated. But I'm gonna delete these because we don't need them. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to get a unique list of system type and then a unique list is the unique function. So we have unique and then we have system type. Make sure you're highlighting the table system type and not, column G. Copy and then Control-Shift-V to paste. And you can sort these alphabetically if you want to. I'm not doing that, but you can 100% do that, especially if you have a lot of different system types. It'll be easier. You'll know that controls should be towards the top, and then, rooftop units should be, somewhere towards the middle or the bottom. And then the next thing we want to do, and I'll show you how to do it alphabetically just to switch it up a little bit. So now we want the unique. We know the table name, and we want the unique name of the PMs. And we have this here, but let's sort this alphabetically. So we can do that with the sort function. And then finally, what we want to do is we want to have this across, the row. So you can transpose. You're gonna either count or sum. If you're counting ones or summing ones, it's the same answer. So we're going to count the number of ones and, based off of the PM and rooftop units, comma. So now we have table, system type, comma, and then cell B3, right? So now we have 76 delays just for rooftop units, but now we need to add Brandon, comma, table, PM, Brandon. And now 27 jobs that Brandon had for rooftop units were delayed in the data set. And because you're learning how to do it like this, you can also do it by month. You can do it by year. You can do it by, however you want. Okay, so this is the top of the fraction formula. We're just going to strip out the delay flag, right? Because then we're just going to count every row. That's Brandon, Shaw, and rooftop units. And then now we have a percentage. And then I want to copy and paste this across, but I can't. And the reasoning is because of what's called relative and absolute referencing. This is relative, meaning we want Brandon Shaw, but as we drag it down, the formula comes down with it, and we don't want that. So anywhere you see the column, like the blue, although it's not always going to be blue, but anywhere you see that, put a $ before the column, so before the letter. And then where you want to lock in the row, so you want Brandon Shaw to stay Brandon Shaw as you drag down, but you want it to go to Carlos as you drag it over. Put a $ in between the letter and the number, so before the number. And then again, you need to copy and paste. You still can't drag and copy and you still can't drag it over because tables you can't lock tables, but you can copy and paste it. Okay, then here we want overall, and then here we want overall. And I'll show you the benefit of doing it this way, because if you just look at overall, what I'll do is I'll copy this here, paste it here, and then we just need to strip out the system type. We want to see purely for Brandon Shaw, out of the number of jobs, he's doing, how many relate. And so just take out the blue. And again, it might not always be blue, but in this example, it's blue. So I'm going to strip out the system type like that, and then strip it out again here. And then a copy and paste. Don't drag it. And so the thing is what you can see just right off the bat is this doesn't really tell you much, right? But once you get granular, you can see, okay, mini splits and retrofits are crushing him. He's really delayed, and especially here with Carlos, it's like 50% of the rooftop units he's late, and so that's obviously not good, right? Okay, so at overall, now we want overall at the system type. So just like we stripped out the system type before, now we're going to strip out the top units. You'll need to add some time to your projections. Okay, so one other thing I want to add for this specific one is we want to target cell, say 35%, adding highlight cells greater than, and then click on that cell. And so you can see easily, where are the high ones, 40%, 2 out of 5 jobs are late. And it might not be a PM problem, it just might be, you need to train them on giving better estimates. Okay, and so if we want to have a target cell of, say, 40%, everything's going to break. And the reasoning is because it's being stored as text now. So we want it to be a number, but we want it to have a word target in the cell, just so if you share this with your team, they're going to know what it is. So go into the cell, press Control-1, and you'll bring up this Format Cell dialog box. Go to Custom, 0, and then %, and then quotations, target, :space, quotations. And then now if you wanted to have a little bit of space there. Okay, so that's that, and this is good, but if we go one reason further, because it's like, okay, they're being delayed, but why? And that's where we create the system type by customer, by the reasoning. And you can also do this by PM. So what we're going to do here is we can just copy this, paste it here, and then what we want to do from here is we want the unique list. So unique list of the reason, right? And then again, if you remember, we want to transpose, not translate, transpose. Then we want to sort the unique. So I'm going to copy this and then paste it. And then I'm going to go a little bit faster because we're coming up on 10 minutes. I want to try to keep this. So now what we need to do is we need to count the number of times customer reschedule and rooftop units and the delay flag was 1, and divide that by essentially every delay, the count of every delay. So I'm going to go a little bit faster. So not table. So we can do, COUNTIFS, the table, the delay flag, comma 1. And you can do this in any sequence. And then again, table, T-bills, table, delay reason, comma, and I'm going to type in C $15, just so it's locked, right? Comma, and then finally the system type, comma, and then $V16. And so 13 of these, 13 of the delays for rooftop units was because of a customer reschedule. But we need to get that as a percent ones, right? So you can count the number of ones or you can sum the number of ones. It's the same answer. And then now I'm going to copy this. I'm not going to drag it because it's in a table. And then I'm copy this, paste it. But now I want to strip out the red. I just want to see the customer reschedule. And so strip that out. I know I'm going fast. Heat map on this. A different type of heat map. I just want to show you different ways to do a heat map. So highlight the range, home, conditional formatting, color scales. So parts back order. right, is the number one reason. And then none is a big one here. It's just they're not giving you a reason. But customer reschedule, so this isn't your fault. Weather's not your fault. Scope change can definitely be, it could have been a bad quote. Permitting could have been on your end as well. And so when you do it this way, you can get a lot more granular and see what's going on. But anyways, that is all I got for this one. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, questions@databoards. Again, if you want this file, there's a link to download it. If you can't find it, shoot me an email. And then finally, if you need some help structuring your data this way, or if you need some help, getting the KPIs and automating or, updating your reports, then there's a link to my calendar, or you can just shoot me an email. But anyways, that is all I have for this video, and I will see you in future lessons.